Yeah, so I'm Sonny Ski. I'm a award-winning MC, performer, songwriter, hip-hop artist from Grand Rapids, Michigan, born and raised. And, best way I could describe myself, I'm an introspective soul over raw instrumentation.
Hey everybody, today I'm talking to Sonny Ski. Sonny Ski is born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he brings a raw introspection over groovy and hard-hitting instrumentation. Known for his energy and stage presence along with his storytelling and wordplay. Sonny Ski is right now been nominated by WYCE, the local radio station that everybody loves here in Grand Rapids. They have the Jammie Awards every year. Sonny was nominated as Artist of the Year, and his album States of Mind has been nominated for Album of the Year. Please go to the show notes after you listen to this album, hear some of the song, and go vote for that guy. The whole song, Grand Rapids, Michigan, will be on at the end of the podcast too, so stick around for that. And also, big shout out to Has Heart Coffee Shop, where we recorded this one. So if you hear any coffee shop noise in the background, that's what you're hearing. It's exactly that, coffee shop noise. Yes, sir. Thanks, Has Heart. Let's get started with a little bit of the song Grand Rapids, Michigan by Sonny Ski.
Said welcome to GR. It's the city that we from. Ain't no telling what we on. I said welcome to GR, where the talent and the love are all, and the rivers flow on and on. This the city that we from. I said welcome to GR.
My vocation is a bridge the gap, so it's no coincidence I'm born where them bridges is at. Let me bring you back, me 2090 and my breath from butter.
I've been a big fan of you. I think ever since I saw you, what did you come out of a suitcase one time?
That was like my thing for a minute, so I couldn't even tell you what show that was.
So yeah, all of a sudden somebody just puts a suitcase out on stage, the music starts, boom, out comes Sonny Ski. I've seen you do that. I've seen you do the fake hurt leg. All of a sudden, middle of a song, you throw down the crutches. Everybody's like, "Oh!"
Yeah. That's awesome.
There's a lot of performative aspect to watching you, and I think that's great because a lot of people are really good musicians, but man, they'll just stand there, maybe kind of like move side to side, and it's really hard to get into it. And you almost just kind of have to like close your eyes and pretend you're listening to the radio. And then there's some people that are like, there's going to be good music, but there's also going to be an experiential type of thing to it.
Right.
Have you always been kind of performative like that? Did you do theater when you were younger? Have you always been like, Dad, point the camera at me kind of a guy, or like, where's that come from?
That's the thing. I hated attention. Like, I'm not somebody that craves attention or needs it. I'm a super low-key, like, introverted person.
Okay.
But my whole thing is, I'm also like a realist. So it's like when I see other artists perform and they just kind of rapping, they singing, they just kind of awkwardly swaying or not even looking at the crowd, it's like I feel like my time's being wasted. So most importantly, it's like when I'm on stage, I turn to a kid. Because when I was a kid, I didn't care. I was doing anything. Just as I got older, I started getting more reclusive.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I gotta give people a good show, and I gotta have fun. So when I perform and I do crazy stuff, when I see people be like, "What? He just came out of a suitcase?" Like people are like, "What is he doing?" It's like I live for type stuff like that because I'm providing entertainment for people.
Yeah.
Like people never gonna forget that.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to be, not even trying, it's just who I naturally am.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to have fun and put on a show. I just don't want it to be boring.
I get it. But I think a lot of people would be like genuinely surprised to see like how dynamic you are on stage and then be like, oh yeah, this dude just kind of wants to just like chill now. He's not like he's not like a let me hold court kind of guy.
Nah, I'm not a talkative person. Even when I like won prize and stuff, you don't even see me like talk shit or like like holding up the chain when I won. It's just like I'm just me, man. I just did it, you know.
Just doing it, and if you like it, I'm happy to hear it.
Right.
Yeah. Jammie nominated Artist of the Year. Congratulations.
Yes, appreciate you.
So for the people listening outside of Grand Rapids, it's basically West Michigan's version of the Grammys, and that they consider West Michigan-based musicians for different categories of artists, all the way down to like newcomer, best genre artist, and then artist of the year, which you've been nominated for. Man, how did that come about? Is there something like, does somebody nominate you, or did they just tell you like, hey man, you've been nominated?
You know, because people, Ben told me I need to submit my album
Yeah.
to YCE and do all that. So I did that.
Okay.
You know, because this is my first time, not my first time, because I submitted my stuff 2 years ago, I think. But I didn't know what categories, because I thought there was like, hip hop album, all these other categories.
Yeah.
But they posted Artist of the Year and then Album of the Year. I was in both of them. And those are the only two ones that people could vote for right now. So I was just like, like I just submitted my album. Like I knew I had a classic album, but it's like Artist of the Year and Album of the Year, just total not even putting it in one genre. That to me was like, oh, that's crazy.
Dude, and that album is a really good album.
Thank you.
They're like the Welcome to GR song. That's like the anthem that this city has been waiting for. You know what I mean?
131 zooming off. Yeah, we from GR, but the sickness from New York.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of cities have their anthem song, and I feel like this is one people can get behind here. What made you want to shout out Grand Rapids on a track?
Exactly what you said. Like everybody has an anthem.
Yeah.
Like New York, they got countless anthems. You know, the down south they got anthems, but GR doesn't have an anthem because a lot of most people aren't even proud to be from here. You ask somebody when they go out of state,
or they gotta be real humble, like the Dutch humble. Okay, well, we don't like to brag.
Right, like people just say, "Oh, I'm from Michigan."
Yeah,
and a lot of people lie, "Oh, I'm from Detroit." They'll false claim Detroit before Grand Rapids.
Bruh.
I see that, and it's like, okay, I want to be the change. And I had that hook idea for a minute, and I've been wanting to do this song for years. It just wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was the right time. I had that hook idea for a minute, and I wanted to give an anthem that you could shout in stadiums.
Yeah.
Like I dropped that song last year, but it started picking up steam months after it dropped, and it's only gonna keep just cause that hook alone. Welcome to GR. That's something you could be at Van Andel Arena halftime. They played. That was the whole vision for the song. So I sent my hook idea to Jelena. She killed the hook.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah, Gwopped Up Speedy had to get him on there.
Yeah.
That was an artist when I came to the game. I looked at what he was doing and I was aspiring to do that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he has this whole brand, apparel, killing shows, great music. So it's just like, all right, I want to mold everything into one song.
Yeah, that guy never sleeps. He's always moving.
Always. Yeah.
Actually, and he was one of the first hip hop artists in town that I got to know. We ended up selling. He was selling clothes next to me. I was selling books. We both took like these last second opening spots at the Gram when they were having some kind of like networking event. But yeah, so we've got one more connection. Small city though, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Whoa, we know a lot of the same people." It's like, man, this city's
small.
This city's a small town.
Absolutely.
Your dad's a musician. So did that immediately kind of like bring you into music, like as a real little guy, or did you find music on your own kind of in spite of dad being a musician?
Oh, that's a good, I'm glad you brought that alternative up. Because when I was like a super young kid, my dad got me into music. Like he had a little home studio in the basement that him and my uncles and my cousin would play in. And then one time he just, he made a beat and he just wanted me to freestyle rap over it. And, you know, I was like 6, super young, but I was always like super tiny. So I just freestyled and the song's called Holy Crap, I'm Small. And it's just about me being small, like shorter. So the hook is...
I'm sorry, man. That's...
The hook is Holy Crap, I'm small. I'm small. Like I got a squeaky ass voice, so I'm small.
Yeah, but saying it all hard.
Yeah. Oh man. He's still looking for that. Every time I see him, I'm like, we gotta find that song. I want to.
It's on one of these hard drives.
It's somewhere. But then as I got older, exactly what you said. It's kind of like I grew up around so much music.
Yeah.
Where it's like I stopped listening to music when I was like, I want to say stop, but I was kind of like I don't know. As I started getting to middle school, I kind of like, I don't really listen to music. Then when I went to middle school, I wanted to be a DJ. So I started making beats, started cutting up stuff, started making house music too.
Yeah.
So being a DJ was like my first like music dream in middle school. But then that didn't work out. High school hit. And then that's where I'm like, nah, I want to be a rapper. Because that's when at school, at lunch tables, after school, at the bus stop, people would just be freestyling rap battles.
Yeah.
I was just so trash. I got beat so bad where it's like, I gotta be better. Like I always had a chip on my shoulder where it's like, nah, I gotta get better.
Yeah.
So then, yeah.
Like so almost like a competitive edge, like a Mamba mentality, but for music.
Absolutely, because I'm super competitive. So it's like how I even kept taking the most steps to become better is looking at what other people doing and be like, I could do better than that.
Yeah.
Like when I first started going to the studio, the engineer, I was like, man, I hate these mixes. I'm gonna be an engineer. Just so I could be like, man, I'm better.
Yeah. You hear something and go, this isn't as good as it could be. I'm gonna make this better. I'm gonna do better.
Exactly.
So when you started rapping, did you have like direct influences where you were very much like, oh yeah, I tried to sound like so-and-so, or I learned all of so-and-so's lyrics, or was it just kind of like not so intentional, your style just kind of came about?
Oh man, like, I grew up around rap music, but I'll say the first rapper I was really trying to sound like and be like was Kendrick Lamar, because high school, that's when he really blew up to the world. So I was trying to get in that bag, like, super storytelling, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Since the jump, I was never like, I'm the best rapper, spitter. Like, I was never on that. I was like, I got to tell a story.
Yeah.
Like, that always been like my niche.
Yeah.
So I was trying to be Kendrick. The whole TDE label, matter of fact, Absol too, just that black hippie group. I was really trying to be like them so bad. But yeah.
What's your process from like the idea that you have a song and you want to start committing it to something?
Man, I'm the voice memo king. Like as soon as I hear a beat, it's like, all right, I gotta lay some kind of reference, or if I think of a hook, because I don't write my hooks. My hooks I think of off the top, and I'm like, okay, I kind of write it in my head. But when it comes to verses, as of late, I've been trying to like switch things up. Okay, let me write it in my head, and then do it. But most of the time, I'm always writing. I prefer to write on paper. Especially when it comes to like storytelling tracks, it's something about the paper.
Absolutely.
It's just different. If I'm just rapping about, if I'm not storytelling, then it's like, okay, if I don't got paper, I'll pick up the phone.
Yeah.
But me, how I get my best writing mode is I have the beat. Because a lot of beats I live with for a minute, like States of Mind. There's so many versions of that album. I was working on the album since 2019. Came out 2024.
Yeah.
But it was so many different versions. Certain stories weren't on it because they haven't even happened yet.
Right.
So, when I'm not working on music, I got my CDL, so I'm a truck driver. So what I do is I play beats all day in my truck, and I just start creating songs in my head.
And then your brain just swirls around with that for a while.
Exactly. So it's like I pre-write it in my head, and I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Second verse, it's going to be a little longer than the first verse, but towards the end, I'm going to add more emotion. I'm going to build it up. It's like, that's how I construct it. Then when I put it to paper.
Hold on. Before you even get to that, I want to ask you, when you are listening to a beat, do you kind of just hear like in your head kind of a rhythm, or do you think of words first? Do the words come out in a rhyme? Do you have to like arrange them? Like, take me through some of that.
Emotion is the first thing I hear. So as soon as I hear a beat, it's like, I could tell, is this like, am I going to get deep on this track? Is this more fun track? Is this a more like, talking shit track, more energy? First thing out here is emotion.
Okay.
What do I feel when I hear this beat? If I hear a beat and I don't feel anything, I'm skipping it.
Right.
Because I have to feel something from it. That's music. So after I feel something, then it's like, all right. If it's a storytelling, that's when I start to think, okay, what kind of story would fit on this? Okay, this is like a darker beat. It's got to be something more serious. So I started thinking, okay, serious. And then that's when I'm riding to it, I'm playing to the beat. And then some of my life will just happen where I'm like, oh shit. Or I'll get a text that reminds me of a story, and it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like I live with the beats, and I slowly create them in my head. But if it's more like an emotion thing, or the beat is just like, oh, you immediately start bopping your head and it's catchy, then it's like, okay, I get in a tone like, I just get into a tone or I get into a pocket. So it really just depends what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Very cool. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it always fascinates me because, you know, I write books, so I have the luxury of not having to make things rhyme or work in a certain meter. You know what I mean? But so when I'm talking to somebody that puts things in like such a, I don't want to say constrained, but like such a tightly formatted way, it's always amazing to me that somebody can put so much detail and emotion and still hit the na 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 na. You know what I mean? Like it's a mental gymnastics and artistry that I'm sure enough people give it its credit for, but it's wild, man, to be able to rap with like a consistency, but to put a real message behind it and have people getting excited when you come out on stage and sing those songs.
That's what's really crazy to me, because it's like when you get so good at just rhyming and like, okay, piecing it together into a story, it becomes harder not to rhyme. When you purposely like this
thinking in rhymes and bars.
Yeah, when you purposely not trying to rhyme or you purposely trying to like switch things up, that's when it gets hard, because your mind is so like used to like, but it would go. Like, but I think that's the key, especially in music, is to keep experimenting. Like you find your pocket, you find your comfort zone, then it's like, all right, well, let's expand it.
Yeah.
Because I could make States of Mind 50 million times if I wanted to, but it's like I'm trying to do different things.
Yeah.
That album's crazy, it's great, but it's like, okay, what else can I do? I told that story.
Yeah, you don't want to just sit and be the guy for the next 5 years. Yeah, I was the guy that made States of Mind, right?
Nah, I can't be that person. I gotta keep. I don't know. That's just the person I am. I don't get comfortable like, okay, I did it. I could just chill. No, I can't chill. Because this music is, it really wakes me up in the morning. Like my girl or like someone asks me, what you think about all the time? So I'm quiet. It's music.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm just thinking like, okay. Like just looking for inspiration. I feel like that's all I do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You see somebody walking by and maybe they're walking kind of funny with their eyes down and you start thinking to yourself, what's happened to this person in the last 24 hours? You start telling yourself a whole story.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Trauma Project, one more thing that we're connected to. I jump in and I'm like, I'm an award-winning producer. Seriously, everybody, I worked for 20 minutes on that album. Yeah. But your contribution was much bigger. How did you get involved with it? Just from knowing SCOOB, or is that how you met SCOOB?
Nah, I met SCOOB beforehand. I knew his brother before, so I knew Jay before, and you know, he had me work with kids and stuff on hip hop and MCing and stuff before. So I want to say that was the first time I met SCOOB. I could be wrong. I feel like that's the first time. But since then, we'd see each other at events and stuff like that. Yeah. But then later on, he told me, he's like, hey, man, I got this idea. He told me the whole idea for the Trauma Project. I'm like, hey, that'd be crazy. Just the fact of mixing art with music, because y'all is an art city.
Yeah.
So the fact that no one has really like honed in art and music and make it I feel like that was genius. Yeah. And then he just told me, he wanted me on it. And he gave me a painting. My painting was The Fallen Man. And it was a picture of the hand with all the like the mess up stuff, like the red, the black and stuff on it. He said, your topic is the fallen man. So I sat with it. I'm like, okay. And I had this one beat that in the back burner for years. Yeah. Where I was just like, I was waiting to do something with it. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it. So back to like living with beats until it speaks to you, until an event happens. So then I played the beat and I'm like, I'm gonna just call it The Fall. Because I thought, what is the fallen man? I think about stuff in my life when it comes to relationship with friends, even my relationship with my girl, relationship with family, God, whoever. The one thing that I noticed that gets in the way of it for me is pride. Yeah. You know, just in my life, whether I feel like I'm too good to apologize or someone else feel like they're too good to apologize, or we both feel like we too good to even like have a conversation, you know, or like no one can tell me nothing. So in my life, I've seen that as the fallen man is pride. So the craziest part about that though is I got a disease called Alier's disease, right? So I got tumors since a kid. So it's mainly on my right hand.
Okay.
Right. And me and SCOOB pieced this together, like as we performed like the last show, we was like, oh shit, we didn't even think of that. He gave me that painting, and the painting is of the right hand. The same hand, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like I was meant to get that painting. So that was just wild to me. So and the whole thing is like I gotta get up. It's reaching for a hand. I seen the hand, it's like a hand helping you up, but you denying the hand.
Yeah.
Because of pride. So yeah, that's basically the long form answer. I got into it.
And then collaborations, one thing I really love about hip hop, probably more than any other genre, is just the amount of collaboration within the genre. So when you're putting songs together for your album, do you think, oh, so-and-so's voice would sound good with this beat, or so-and-so's got a style like lyrically that matches my tone on this, or like how do you think of that? And then what's kind of like the approach process to go like, hey man, let's make this thing?
My whole thing about music, I love dynamic.
Yeah.
So like even looking at the Welcome to GR song, right? I don't sound like Speedy. Speedy don't sound like me.
Right.
I have a different kind of voice. And that's why my voice, when it hits on that first beat, before the beat switch, I got like a more like a laid back flow.
Yeah.
So that fits the first part of the beat more because I'm riding the beat. I'm, just chilling in the background. And then you got Jelena with a powerful voice. So you got my voice, which is a good volume. Then Jelena comes, boom, welcome to GR. So it goes up with the hook. Then it goes, is the best way I could even describe it is visual.
Yeah.
So like it gets big for the hook. And then my voice is like ride straight, hook, my voice. And then as soon as the B-bar switch, you got Gwopped Up Speedy. He got a much more in-your-face flow.
Go check the rankings. A boss living that up life. I got mitten ties, gifted like a Christmas drive. They can't break my pride, refuse to be stigmatized. All about my chicken, I spread it out like crack seasoning on my wings and fries. Justice for Patrick, middle fingers.
He's not rapping laid back on the beat.
Yeah.
So that instantly changes the energy from my kind of laid backness to his like in your face. But then you still got Jelena with that passion and like everything. So my whole thing is dynamic. I love to change things up. How can we attack the beat different?
Yeah.
Because, even on my other tracks on the album, I'm looking for voices that sound different than mine.
Right.
Because it works for some groups. But even like we look at a Tribe Called Quest, Q-Tip and Phife Dawg do not sound the same.
Right.
They have two. You got Q-Tip, you got a much more quiet voice, but it's sharper. But then you got Phife, which is much more louder, like in your face. And that's why I feel like groups like that have a dynamic work so much better. Because it's like you're hitting both angles. So it's all about dynamic, how they sound, and can they stay on the topic. If my song is about, like I said, if my song was about GR, right, the Welcome to GR, and let's say Gwopped Up Speedy came on and talking about, I'm the best rapper, 16. Like, that don't even fit the song.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to speak, because he could stick to a topic, but still do his style. So can they fit on the song too, not only vocally, but topic-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does it take to actually pull off a collaboration from the time you're like, okay, I want this person to work on it? Just phone call, say, hey, man, you free next week to come in the studio and work on it? Or how much preparation do you actually have to do to make that happen?
Oh, man, because I wanted him on that song for probably like 8 months before I even asked him. Because me, I live in my mind. So Jelena Ben laid that hook, but even I wanted her to sing that hook probably like 5 months before I told her. Because me, it's like, all right, I sit there, and this is my flaw. I be overthinking things where I'm like, would she sound the best? Would he sound the best? I start like, let me do a different version of the song. But man, what I noticed is as soon as you got the idea to do something with somebody, make it be known. Yeah. So that's something I got to work on. But that took way longer than it should have. But it released at the right time, so maybe it didn't. Yeah. No, it worked when it needed to. Yeah. But yeah, my problem is usually I'll have an idea
and I'll let somebody know immediately before I've like polished it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to do this like next week? And they're like, well, hold on. let's maybe talk about what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna be busy for like the next month. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted it all to happen like right now. Can you do it now? Can you do it now?
Yeah.
You've done a good job of that. What's your advice to anybody who wants to make themselves more well known, whether they're a musician, whether they're a writer, whatever their kind of creative thing is? How do you I guess what's your philosophy for like networking and for marketing and promoting?
Swallow your pride. A lot of people feel like they too good to go to an open mic. A lot of people feel like they too good to, I drove 10 hours to Tennessee for an opportunity to perform for 10 minutes and didn't even get it.
Right.
And I had to drive 10 hours back.
Yeah.
And my car is not in the best shape. Who else is willing to do that?
It was an adventure, yeah.
It's like even like I flew down to Atlanta. Shout out Six Man. Six Man would give me opportunities. He lived down there. So I got on the radio down there and did some performances. But down there, I didn't even have a performance booked. I just went because he wanted me on this classic radio show down in Atlanta. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to go down there, I got to hit anything I can.
Yeah.
So I was going and looking at any open mics I could find in Atlanta. And then all I could find was like a country one. So I went there and I'm looking around like, I do not belong here. Like in the middle of the sticks, a country open mic. I asked the dude, I'm like, hey, I got beats on my phone. He already looking weird because I'm saying beats. He's like, what are you talking about? I got them on my phone, but can I play them on my phone? He's like, we don't have nothing connected to the phone. We just have instruments. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm already here. I got to find a way to even perform. Eventually, me and him start talking. The sound engineer, he's like, oh, yeah, I play instruments. I play drums. I'm like, you play drums? Can you just play drums and then I'll just freestyle?
Yeah.
He's like, you can freestyle? You can do that? I say, yeah, just play a drum loop and I'll just rap off the top of my head.
Yeah.
This open mic started at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. I didn't get to perform till like 10:30, 11. So I was literally just sitting there waiting. Couldn't even perform my songs. They didn't have beats. It was just going to be one drummer. But when I got up there, other people were like, hey, can we jam with you? I said, go ahead. So next thing I know, I'm freestyling at a country bar with a country band, getting words from the crowd and getting reactions, people going crazy because I got to make something happen. I'm here.
Yeah.
A lot of people been like, oh, y'all don't have nothing to do? We can't plug our phone in? I'll just go back to the hotel. No.
Yeah.
No. I got to make it happen. So I feel like what a lot of people can learn from me, what I'll say is swallow your pride and take a risk.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ask me, how do you even get these opportunities? It's because, one, first off, I'm easy to work with. I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
no, I need a deposit when nobody knows who the fuck I am asking for money.
Yeah.
It's like, you
So
got to,
like, hey man, you want to be on a song? How many Instagram followers do you have?
bro, but that's what it is now.
I know.
So I don't get caught in the ego shit. And then people see that. They're like, oh, he's easy to work with. So the same people's like, man, I'm not doing a free show. For me, doing a free show is how I'm getting paid now.
Yeah.
So you got to think long term. That's another thing. People just want the quick gratification.
Yeah.
And even me on the crowd with the suitcase. So many people are like, man, the suitcase, that's corny. That's weird. I don't care. I want to do it. You remembered it.
Yeah.
It makes you emotionally feel something.
Yeah.
So I'd rather people hate me or love me than just be like,
And be lukewarm, yeah.
lukewarm.
Oh yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Last thing I want is just a, yeah, in the crowd. I either want like, oh, or boo. I want one of them. If I just get the awkward, I'm going to be like, wow, I don't know. I'm just an extreme person. So I feel like you got to think I'm trash or you got to think I'm fire.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah. I like that though. That's good advice. Take a risk. I've shown up to sell books at places where I was like, well, this is a weird place to sell books. Like I did, Jared Driesinga hosts Park Theater open mic on, it's either Tuesdays or Thursdays at the Park Theater in Holland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I went out and sold books there one night. I think I maybe only sold 2 or 3 books. And some people would be like, oh, that's too bad. But I'm like, well, that's 2 or 3 people that might buy the next book, might give that book to somebody else to read, might review it online, and that review might make somebody else buy it. Like, so I tend to look at everything kind of like planting seeds. You can't just expect everything to work out right away. Just, go. I hope this works out. Give it a little love. See what comes back to you.
Exactly. And those small opportunities, that's where I got my biggest ones.
Yeah.
The ones that was like nobody in the crowd. There was one specific person who got all the network, who got all the knows all the people.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know who was at one of these shows.
Yeah.
Like you said, like even when I wasn't getting shows, I kept, hey, can I perform? Can I perform? No one's letting me perform. So 4 years ago now, 2021 Art Prize, me and my boys, I just said, hey, bro, carry this speaker. I'm going to just freestyle downtown. And then since that day, when I just freestyled at Art Prize, because I couldn't get shows, that's when people started hitting me up. Then I started getting shows because I made the opportunity happen.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they'll tell me, I can't get shows. I can't do nothing. Even certain people I was around at that time where I was like, hey, do this with me. It's like, nah, man.
Yeah.
But then they want to question how I'm here and they here. But even in the grand scheme, I haven't made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, everybody,
I still got a lot of work to do.
There's always another rung on the ladder ahead of you. Yeah. But no, I hear that from people that I talk to in lots of different things, whether it's comedy or music or writing or art. There are people who come up to me all the time and say, how did you get these opportunities? And I'll say, well, you got to network with people. You got to go to other people's things and do stuff like that. And they're like, oh, no. How else can I get these opportunities? Like, don't ask me if you don't want to know the answer,
Right.
A lot of it is just putting in the time, like you said.
You give them the answer and they still try to find but is there a, no.
Yeah.
No.
But how can I get like an agent or something? Like, dude.
Gotta get your hands dirty.
You either have to be so good that the agent signs you without knowing your credentials, or you got to build up those credentials.
Yeah.
Well, man, I don't have a lot left to ask you. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, man. Well, I'm about to go on tour in Canada. Shout out 6 Man.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. So we going to Montreal, Winnipeg, Windsor, Sherbrooke, Detroit. I'm forgetting some dates, but 6 Man, he bringing me on tour.
Okay.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, and I'll make sure that I put a link in the show notes to like your social media, any websites or anything else that has any information where people can find out where you're at or buy tickets or whatever.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, man, it's been great to meet you.
Likewise.
And actually get to talk to you a little bit for the first time. We've been, like I said, in the same places and moving around with a lot of the same people, but first time having a face-to-face. It's nice to meet you, man.
Hey, likewise.
All right, everybody, that was Sonny Ski. Again, hit the show notes, vote for the guy so that he can win Grand Rapids Jammie Artist of the Year. Thanks again to Sonny for coming on. Thank you for listening. And listen here because we're going to turn it back over and listen to the whole song Grand Rapids, Michigan from start to end.
Said welcome to Gwopped. It's the city that we from. Ain't no telling what we on. I said welcome to Gwopped, where the talent and the love are raw, and the rivers flow on and on. This the city that we from. I said welcome to Gwopped.
My vocation is to bridge the gap, so it's no coincidence I'm born where them bridges is at. Let me bring you back, mid 90 and my breath from Butterworth C-section. I left my mother's stomach hurt, gut intuition had mixed, so my dad's ambition. Grand Rapids, Michigan was conceptional. They second kid in Durban, they first when they resided on Thomas, but let them tell the shit barrages the bullets in they backyard. It kept them hesitant to raise a second kid in it. 49 507 shit, I guess I was born to be a leader, cause all water got lead in it. Had to play a part in it. Regency Park, apartment swing. I was a baby. 1 year later, my sister were born and gone for being stomped the ground. Since that day, my side to side for blick is breaking. Elder child was in my thing, a sheltered house, and it's a brain still heard the sounds against the way east side of town where hippies sing. West side now keep it chill to save shots and open enjoy your stay.
Oh, I said welcome to GR. It's the city that we from. Ain't no telling what we on. I said welcome to GR, where the talent and the love are raw, and the rivers flow on and on. This the city that we from. I said welcome to GR.
I'm riding down the vision trying to unify you and I. I'm cruising by with this El Coochie baby, my deuce inside. But one time for my rapping riders, to you I rap and write this. My wood and molders, y'all ballers, parties with alley liners, alley cat scraps and vinyls. Where gold is what the drive is, potholes and leaking tires. Willies the kids are popping, so feel me as I'm flying. 131 zooming north, yeah we from GR, but the chicken is from New York. You hear the grease? We gon' need a re-release on the way beat. We was getting fried that lookout till we can't see. Been in the dreams, I can't sleep. Skyline and the horizon in my eyes, holding the prize. But in GR, all the surprise, man, got mirrors that can beat. And some mirrors of the seats. And that winter freeze approaching, I pray you're okay without heat. And those griffin seats are open, just don't get slid over free. And this mean size I'm wearing, bro, so to let you know just where I'm from. I'm from a city where mothers will tell their sons they made weather's kids. And the colors on the ball tell you what today's weather is. It's getting windier soon as degrees raise, cause everybody here is sit out. I pray the breeze change. Hey, GRPD behave, some wanna bring back cheap pain, and others bring that cheap pain. We from a city where bridges crosses is blasphemy. Grand Rapids gon' rule, some say Grand Rapids.
I got a union with my brothers to get wealthy. Hung with killers that'll hide a body like a fat chick who took a selfie. I know some Beamers cats who love to get their pockets fuller. Like Floyd, I blow the competition out like nose boogers. Like Butterworth Hospital, I'm working on my patience. Street beef is tasteless. Hood politics cause a division over Franklin's. Went to designer diamonds for that GR gold. We the best, go check the rankings. A boss living that up life. I got mitten ties, gifted like a Christmas drive. They can't break my pride, refuse to be stigmatized. All about my chicken, I spread it out like crack seasoning on my wings and fries. Justice for Patrick, middle fingers to the racist police that we despise. All my scraps legalized, just left silver bullet. Target practice is a must. When I was a kid, Adina Howard was my biggest crush. Been ballin' with my brothers like Harden and Russ. They know I been having motion like the rapid bus. They in my business like interrogation. No pyramid schemes involved when it comes to this elevation. Gwopped up, we the realest, we the hardest. And you know that. In the family, run deep like the DeBarges. More than a local artist. If I eat, we all eat. Turn this desert to a harvest. This legacy can't be tarnished. 616.